police advisor, senior commissioners here present, and the media. You are welcome yet again to another edition of Gambia Police Force press conference, but the press conference of the Inspector General of Police. We are pleased to be here once again, and we are happy that the Inspector General of Police, after having promised that he would intermittently be conducting press conference to not only inform the public, but also to have an engagement with the media. This is not the first time we are having this, and this is not the second time. And we hope this will continue, because this is going to bridge that gap. It has been as part of the Gambia Police Force reform with respect to bridging gaps that has existed over the period. Inspector General of Police, we are very grateful for this opportunity to, especially the Public Relations Office, the opportunity to bridge the gap between the Gambia Police Force and the media, by extension, the Gambian people. On that note, before we get into the program proper, I want us to take a minute and have our individual prayers before we get into the program proper. After the prayers, we will have the Inspector General of Police to make a statement. Thereafter, we'll have an engagement with the media. Bismillah. Amin to all our doers. At this point, I would want to invite the Inspector General of Police, Seedy Touray, to make his statement.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Alaji Demba Sow, the advisor to the IGP, Mr. Tamsir Jase, Assistant Inspector General of Police, Administration, Ibrahim Abba, the General responsible for police operations, General Pate Jallo, Assistant Inspector General of Police for Service Support, Khalil Njai, the AIG Crime Management Coordinator, Madam Amin Nyasi, the Assistant Inspector General of Police Intervention, Tactical Support, General Adeline Basange, Senior Commissioners here present, Senior Officers, distinguished members of the press corps, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. It is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to our first quarter 2026 press briefing here at the Police Headquarters Conference Hall. It is amazing how time flies. It feels like yesterday when we held our 90 days press briefing here to give account of our achievements, challenges, and strategies to solve our challenges. 15th March 2026, we mark 2 years of momentous progress in office. We couldn't have done this without the selfless support of the fine men and women of this noble institution, the Gambia Police Force. And of course, the law-abiding citizens and non-citizens residing in the Gambia. Circling back to the reason for today's auspicious gathering, I am delighted to stand before you to give an account of what has been achieved so far, our challenges, and what activities are planned. The statement will cover the following areas: our strategic vision for the Gambia Police Force, strategies deployed to ensure safer communities across the country, successes registered, challenges encountered, and charting a path forward. 1. Strategic vision. Since my appointment as the Inspector General of Police on the 15th March 2024, a lot of water has passed under the bridge. I crave your indulgence to walk with me down memory lane, for in the words of Steve Jobs, you cannot connect the dots by looking back. You can only connect the dots by looking back. Our start was a bit shaky, and that is understandable, given my transition from the Gambia Immigration Department to Gambia Police Force. The learning journey was facilitated by open and frank discussions I had with members of the senior management at the strategic level, as well as the tactical and operational level officers. During my maiden countrywide tour, I had the first-hand knowledge of the working conditions of police personnel deployed across the country. We listened to the security concerns of communities and challenges police officers deal with daily to serve our country. Now, moving forward, we have since deployed 10 new vehicles, 12 refurbished vehicles to major police stations and PIU deployments countrywide to facilitate patrols and swift response to security needs of Gambians. Distribution was also conducted 10 sets of furniture, 52 computers, 21 laptops, and 45 printers to police stations across the country to enhance their working conditions and service delivery. As promised in 2024, we have also issued out uniforms to police officers, 2 pairs, to enhance their turnout and self-confidence. We commissioned a new police station, model police station in Esau, that is human rights and gender compliant. 8 new police stations are under construction in Basse, Brikama, Fajara, Farafenye, Jarasoma, Kalaji, Makamasire, and Salaji. We are optimistic to inaugurate all 8 stations before the end of 2026. 3 out of 4 of our 2024 plans have been realized. Only the Police Integrated Information Management System, PIIMS, is outstanding because it is capital intensive. God willing, it will also be resolved. That said, our strategic vision for Gambia Police Force remains unchanged, which is to be a professional, accountable public service, respecting human rights and the rule of law. Number 2, strategies deployed to ensure safe communities across the country. A vision without a strategy is as good as dead. To ensure the vitality of our vision to make Gambia a safe haven for law-abiding citizens, residents, and visitors alike, the fine men and women of this institution has deployed the following strategies: intelligence-led policing, robust patrols to prevent crime, continuous training of personnel to maintain effectiveness and efficiency, strategic deployment of PIU and anti-crime personnel across the country to provide armed support to the general duty police officers and sister services, providing guards for VIP and vital installations, regular sensitization on crime prevention and road safety, and of course, decentralization of the highway patrol. 3, successes registered. During the period under review, we have registered remarkable successes in our operations and activities. If you will allow me, I will walk you through a few of those achievements. And these are but not limited to the following. As part of our reform and restructuring drive, we have appointed 2 new Assistant Inspector General of Police for the efficient management of our expanding complex security environment. The new creations will make us more agile to respond to incidents and situations in a timely manner because AIG service support and AIG tactical support stroke PIU are specialized areas that need undivided attention. We have conducted 12,500 visible patrols to prevent crime, resulting in a significant drop from 5,394 cases in 2024 to 5,273 cases in 2025, indicating a reduction in the crime rate by 1.13%. We have interrogated the fine print and noticed that although overall crime rate has dropped by more than 1%, the data about major crime is a mixed picture. For instance, murder reduced from 29 cases in 2024 to 21 cases in 2025. Burglary, 38 cases in 2024 to 34 cases in 2025. Incidents have reduced considerably. However, we notice an increase in rape, which was 46 in 2024 and 54 in 2025. Arson, 3 in 2024, but 14 in 2025. Robbery, 60 in 2024 and 63 in 2025. Armed with this data, we will enhance targeted visibility patrol, crime prevention campaigns, and strategic deployment of police officers to crime-prone areas to deter criminals. Basic recruitment. 1,336 police constables were trained and graduated in 2025 to augment the workforce and ensure police presence in the streets to prevent crime. 750 more are being processed for recruitment in this year, 2026. 120 community engagements to sensitize residents and students on crime prevention. This strategic shift to proactive policing accounts for the drastic reduction of crime and enhance harmonious and peaceful coexistence. If you recall, the Gambia has recently been voted as the 4th most peaceful country in Africa. We should cherish and guard this coveted position. Standards either needs to go up, but they're not supposed to drop. Police officers benefited 800 capacity building trainings locally and internationally to equip them with skills to combat regular crime and emerging crimes such as internet scams, cyberbullying, and mobile fraud. For career development, we are sponsoring 13 officers pursuing undergraduate and doctoral courses at UTG and other universities in the country. Crime scene investigators completed 100 crime scene visits to collect forensic evidence used in investigations and criminal prosecutions. Through commendable teamwork, our dedicated patrol officers, meticulous investigators, and diligent prosecutors secured 3,897 convictions in law courts to keep dangerous criminals off our streets. Our gallant officers maintain public order, secure major events, and provided VIP escorts to high-profile officials and visiting dignitaries. The medic unit of Gambia Police Force treated 9,000 patients at our clinics in Banjul and in Kanifing. The Police Engineering Corps gave a beautiful facelift to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital private ward, which was applauded by the Financial Central Bank of the Gambia, the Chief Medical Director, and of course, the #1 citizen of the country, His Excellency the President. Following the violent bank robbery in 2024 and subsequent string of brazen robberies, we deployed armed guards to all banks across the country. These deployments helped prevent repeat attacks and secure people's financial assets from criminals' clutches. Officer welfare is very dear to our hearts because a well-motivated workforce delivers impressive results. In 2025, we assisted 47 officers through injury compensation, local and overseas medical treatment, diseased token, natural disaster victim support, and soft loan for officers to solve pressing financial needs. As part of the Police Estate Initiative, 305 plots of land were allocated to individual police officers to build homes for their families. Negotiations are ongoing to increase coverage to 600 plots. Challenges encountered. Just as we register some successes, we encounter our fair share of challenges. Like I did for successes, I will spotlight a few of these challenges to give you a glimpse of what we contend with week in, week out. The main challenges we face is the lack of purpose-built training academy. Professionalism starts with training. Well-trained police officers provide effective service to the public, and the basis of such excellent services is quality training. Therefore, we need a state-of-the-art police academy to prepare officers before deploying them in the streets to protect you and I. Another challenge that we are faced with have to do with regular basis is the lack of adequate mobility for our operations. We are aware that mobility is a perennial challenge for all public institutions and resources are scarce. However, we continue to appeal to the central government to prioritize police operations because speed is critical in police operations. Every minute counts when we receive distress calls for police assistance. When citizens are under attack and they send a distress call to the police, our response time could make a huge difference. Because of such instances, it is important for police stations to always have a sufficient mobility and fuel to respond to the calls immediately. Digitalization of our workflow and records management is another area that we face serious challenges. For us to be more effective and efficient in our operations, Gambia Police Force needs to transition from paper-based documentation and work processes. Digitalized mode of work is faster and cheaper. Although we issue every police officer at least 2 pairs of uniform last year, we still need additional budget to supply each officer 2 pairs of uniforms again. Our tropical climate has a huge toll on the longevity of uniforms because of humidity and dust. Officers need to wash their uniforms regularly to appear neat and presentable whilst on duty. Therefore, every officer needs to at least another pair of uniform to use on alternate dates. Again, the government has competing priorities, but we continue to appeal for consideration in this regard. At the last count, 36 of our police stations are rented properties. Inasmuch as government is keen in bringing security to the doorsteps of communities, we need purpose-built police stations to better serve Gambians. In this regard, we are banking land for future construction of model police stations that are human rights compliant when the funds are availed to us. Charting a path forward. Having shared our successes and challenges, I would attempt to forecast my plan for the future. In partnership with the government of the Gambia and the communities, Gambia Police Force secured land for construction of suitable police academy and police station to address the infrastructural deficit highlighted above. When we realize police officers will be trained from basic recruitment training to graduate school level in the academy, renting police stations will also be a history. In few weeks, we will inaugurate the Automated Fingerprint Identification System, AFIS, project here at the police headquarters. The AFIS system will enable our scientific support unit to support prosecutions with watertight evidence to ensure transparent and fair criminal trials in court. We are also keen in operationalizing the Police Integrated Information Management System, PIIMS, and its components include the following: admin and record management, police mobile app, police field operations and reporting system, incident record and case management systems. This one is somehow tied to funding gaps, and as soon as we are able to outsource funding either from central government or from our partners, we will ensure this project is equally rolled out. When operational, this will enhance the speed of our operations and increase efficiency in terms of budget spent on stationery and time lost due to long turnaround times. With support from the European Union and the German Federal Foreign Office, in 2026 we will inaugurate the 5 additional model police stations as mentioned earlier in locations of Brikama, Farafenye, Yarasoma, Basse, and Makamasile. The above-mentioned plans will boost Gambia Police Force posture for crime prevention and capacity to enforce the relevant laws in accordance with democratic policing standards. Conclusion. Before I conclude, I would like to talk about discipline. I want to talk about peaceful coexistence, and I equally want to talk about hate speech. Discipline is the bedrock of development in any society, more so the security services. The servicemen and women in uniform come from society. I was never wearing this uniform before being enlisted, and certainly next couple of years, I'll proceed on my statutory retirement, and you will not expect me to wear the uniform. That's why we always say we were civilians before. We are serving now, but when we retire, we go back to civilian life. Therefore, uniform officers are a classical reflection of the society that produced them. In view of this reality, it is important for us to inculcate discipline in our children and encourage decorum in our public discourse. This message is all the more important now more than ever because we are entering the electoral cycle, which is characterized by high energy and rising tensions. I want to use this platform to remind all police officers that we are an apolitical security outfit. We are loyal to the laws of the land. In short, we are law enforcement. Now, it is normal for police officers to sympathize with a political party of their choice. But we are not allowed to manifest this affiliation publicly. During elections, police officers can vote for a politician of their choice, provided they carry a valid voter's card. However, in due execution of your duties, refrain from any form of favoritism whatsoever. Long story short, just be neutral. I would like to address the general public next. You mandated us to enforce laws promulgated by the National Assembly members. You did not stop at that, but you pay and equip us to enforce these laws for keeping the good order of society. We can only keep our side of the bargain if you keep yours. Allow me to remind you that every good citizen is a police officer of sorts. What do I mean by that? It means every Gambian has a key stake in ensuring peaceful coexistence. You have everything to do with the successes of your police force in combating crime. Give us credible, timely, and valuable intelligence to go after the bad guys, and we'll be more than happy to just do that. If you obey the laws you ask us to enforce on your behalf, then we would have no problems here. But if you disobey the laws, we will be expected to do our job, and that is to enforce the law. For us to peacefully coexist, all of us police officers included need to obey the laws enacted by the National Assembly. When we have disputes, as we are bound to, we should resort to the courts to resolve the disputes, as I know Gambians to be civilized, peaceful people, but not through jungle justice. This is my humble appeal to all Gambians as we prepare for the presidential elections in December. I will conclude with a sincere appeal to all Gambians to continue supporting the Gambia Police Force in our quest to make the Gambia safe for all, irrespective of your race, gender, social status, creed, or political affiliation. I reaffirm my administration's commitment to Gambia Police Force's mission statement, which reads, to provide an excellent service, protecting and serving the people of the Gambia. We need you to ride along with us on this journey to realize this mission. Thank you all for your kind attention. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Inspector General of Police, for that marathon summary of the activities of 2025 and into 2026. I think the speech has covered a lot of activities of the Gambia Police Force, if not all the activities. And we are aware we can't bring in any or everything, but I think he has done justice to the activities of the Gambia Police Force within the year under review. And at this point, will bring us to the next phase of the press conference. Since it's a press conference, we're expecting questions from the media houses here present. And we want to ask you to always introduce yourself and where you are coming from, and then you can ask your question. And we would also want you to give chance to your colleagues. Ask a single question, then the next person would ask, so that all of us can ask our questions. And we try as much as possible to do that in the best way we can. At this point, with your permission, sir, I would want to allow the media houses, journalists here present. You can raise your hand if you want to ask a question, and let the question be questions, not statements. Okay? That question is a question, it'll be direct, but not lectures or statements, please. And yes, we can start with you, gentlemen. Yes, with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Civil Press. The IGP made mention of more than 300 foot of land being allocated to officers. I want to know how many junior officers benefited from that.
Thank you very much for that question. A committee was set up to look at this contract between Gambia Police Force and the real estate agency that we are contracted, to support us in this endeavor. The criteria that was used was on a first come, first served basis. I'm sorry, I am not in a position to tell you how many of them out of the 300 are junior officers and how many are senior officers. But one criteria that I know was that majority has to be junior officers, because the senior officers, most of us are living under our own roof. So the opportunity has to go to the junior ones. But the statistics, if you want it, later today we can avail it to you. Thank you. Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dawda Bade from the Fast Network. IGP, thank you so much for that marathon presentation. We talked so passionately about the well-being of officers under this institution. We've seen from Banjul to Brikama and Gunjur, Turntable, and Westfield, you have only 2 buses that are commuting, transporting officers to and from Banjul on a daily basis. And these buses are often overcrowded, risking the lives and also the convenience of these officers. What is your office doing to ease this burden on officers who come on a daily basis to protect the country and everybody in this country?
Thank you very much. Another important question. Just for record purposes, we have just concluded the bidding processes to procure 2 brand new buses and a 25-seater coaster for senior officers. And the contract is already awarded. Yes. So we are faring well on that side. Very soon you will see 2 brand new buses as well to mitigate, the movement of personnel.
Yes. Any other? No. Yes.
IGP, thank you. I am Bas Nicholas. I work for the 2.FM and TV. So, IGP, we are grateful for your laudable efforts with you and your giant men in serving our motherland, the Gambia. Precisely, you talk of case management, which is the area of my heartbeat. Case management under the purview of the office of the IGP. How do you intend sorry, I'm asking two questions in one. How do you intend to accomplish that said goal that you've outlined in your statement? Secondly, we've seen scarcity of vehicles along the coastal line police stations and on mobile. They can't get to crime scenes. They can't help situations. So how do you, or how is your office working towards resolving this urgent, important issue?
Thank you, Mr. Bass. I will start with your second question, and that is the issue of mobility. Probably you have not been too observant, but a brand new pickup was allocated or deployed to Bruce B police station. Part of the 12 refurbished pickups that I mentioned in my speech, one is already taken to Gunju. So along that stretch of the coastal belt, we have 2 vehicles there. They are equally supported with mobility challenges from the anti-crime unit at Banjulundi and as well as the Bikama police station, because they all fall under the jurisdiction of West Coast region. Offering to get us more additional mobility, and God willing, if that happens, we will ensure strategic deployment of some of those vehicles that we are expecting. Going back to your first question on case management, again, I mentioned in my speech that there is a project that already, has been completed. But the challenge that we were faced with, for us to operationalize it, has to do with all the wherewithals, to be able to roll out the project. And this goes to issues relating to computers, issues relating to energy, that is generators, issues relating to internet, so that, it will be rolled out, to major police stations. And that's what I said, depending on the availability of funds that we are optimistic of getting, we should be able to roll out that project, before the turnaround, that's December of this year. Thank you. Next question, please.
My name is Yapan from KTV. In your speech, you mentioned about the statistics of crime rate since 2024, and realized that there was like a 1%.
1.13.
1.1, yeah. So we realized that in your speech, you mentioned that there was an increase of rape cases, right?
Yes.
So what is the sector doing to mitigate that?
Okay. Good question. Rape is considered a major crime. But then elements of rape also are very critical. Sometimes most of these cases can be forceful, but sometimes, it's domestic in nature. However, depending on the situation, rape is just a rape. And even if it is coming from, family members, we consider it rape. Measures that are put in place to ensure that the reduction of rape cases is sensitization. 1, I mentioned it in my speech. 2, to ensure that, we have fit prosecution for those offenders. And this is ongoing. I'm sure you'll agree that I mentioned 3,000 plus cases that were successfully prosecuted by our prosecutors. And some of those cases that were prosecuted were actually rape cases, and they are languishing in various jails across the country. Thank you. Next question.
Yes. Good morning.
Yes.
My name is Omar Fai. I work for the Gambia Intelligence Services. IDP, if you are aware, last month there were some allegations made by against one of your police officers by the name Almani Esmaka. Of course, the public want to know whether there are investigations that we have made against the person allegedly involved in this, and if so, what has been the status of the investigation so far? I have 2 questions. The second one is you've mentioned issues of, now we know we're entering into the election period. I'm glad you highlighted the efforts that the community but it is beyond assurance. Gambians would want to know what measures actually are you putting in place. I know that you have a code of conduct that guides every officer in terms of this strategy, but it is beyond assurance. What actually measures is there when issues of these officers are being involved, political, when they are influenced by political policies?
You mean decision of police officers
Yes.
influenced by politics? We have our code of conduct. Yes, I'm not in a position to interpret the code of conduct, the provisions of the code of conduct for you at this very moment. I'm not a lawyer, even though I know I have it in my ranks. I have very good lawyers. Probably if they were standing here, they will easily tell you the exact provision or the clause in the Constitution. But what I know is it's been prohibited by the police code of conduct. We are not supposed to visibly be participating, in party politics. Okay? Two, you earlier mentioned about an alleged allegation against one of my officers, and I think you are a keen follower. He has also come up with his rebuttal of what he is being alleged of. At the level of Gambia Police Force, there is what we call internal, and that internal investigation is something that we are looking into. That will be my response to that.
Yes, Dauda, you have. Let me allow that lady. Yes, young lady. Yes.
No problem.
doomi Gambie yi nekk fale ñu xam si li ngeen yëngu-yëngu ndax kontaan nañ si oto bi waaw xam nañ ne liggéey government nag ok Adama nga laa bëgg a jógee TTM training waaw xam nañ ne liggéey government nag jàppalante la du benn place rek moo ko mën a def mu sotti gisoon nañ fii Ministry of Transport ñëwoon nañ fi ñu wax comme béréb nangam bi nga faral di fekk waaye xam ne ne police bi tamit ñoo war a mën a gën a jàppalante ak Ministry of Transport pour ñu méttoon ne at least yii ni ñu gis ne doomi Gambie ñu ngi encouragé loolu waaye bés ni ki tey gis nañ ne bu ñeneen ci waxtu di la fekk si biti rek dañuy faral di yokka paas yi yëpp daf dee seer si doomi Gambie so te di nga gis léegi dinañ téye driver mu ñëw mu ne police yi dinaa ko jox benn $50 rek ñu bàyyi ñu romba so dama laajte police yi lan moo nekk seen taxawaay ak seen yëngu-yëngu pour mun a jàppale doomi Gambie yi ndax soo na leen fu mu nekk nii.
jërëjëf sa laajte bi am na solo trop waaye jéego yuñ nekk di jël pour mun a aar loolu noonu ñu ngi si kawam dina ma doon neex tamit xëy na yëguloo loolu noonu taa yàlla ne la binde nañ ci media bi ne dafa am police officer bu nga xam ne dugg na ci moto muy laajte nit ñi ñaata lañ leen ci charge pour ngeen fay paas biñ ko waxee moom tamit mu fexe ne mboolem passage bi fu nekk ci moto boobu noonu li nga xam ne loolu la transport luy noonu laajte pour mu nekk paas kenn ku nekk fay loolu noonu waaye xam nga comme suñu waxee ne su ma joxee police officer bi juróom fukki dërëm yi dina ma bàyyi loolu noonu moom dafa nekk tuumal bu nga xam ne benn police mënuloo koo génnee ci sa boppa tey man la yàlla teg fii ma nekk njiiti police man ci suma boppa léeg-léeg ñu ne dañ ma jox dara te fekk yàlla óor na ma yàlla ne joxuñ ma dara so loolu noonu dafa nekk lu nga xam ne comme suñu liggéey bi dafa àndaa loolu noonu daal waaye comme baatu li nga laajte ñun luñ dee def mooy because tarif bi mooy pass bi fu nekk distance bu nekk nata la ñu war a fay loolu xam nañ ko so léegi lu ñu dee mën a def mooy in fact tey si suba jii nii rek bi ñoo am suñ management meeting maa leen ko doon wax dafa am place yu nga xam ne ko fekk am naa information démba ne dañ dee charge let's say Serekunda garage ba Latrikunda rek $50 loolu noonu weeruloo ko fenn parce que da nga gis ne rek si weeri koor lañ nekk ku nekk da nga yaakamti pour ñibbi kër nga mun a toppatoo sa njaboot mun a am sa ndaw waaye soo gisee ñuy def loolu noonu because nit ñi tamit dañuy yaakamti léeg-léeg nag daf dee nekk ne nit ñi si seen boppa ñoo dee bañ a wax police yi yaa ngi gis police bu taxaw mu ngi sol uniforme ki leen la charge $50 te fekkee lu mu la war a charge genn wàlla bi la waaye yow da nga yaakamti rek pour nga àgga sa kër so may na loo balance of $25 bu fa tegu loolu noonu tam daf dee nekk problème waaye dama d'accord ak yow 100% ne nekk na li nga xam ne du yoon te warut a am waaye tuumal bi moom comme ne dañuy jox loolu mboolem kuy wax loolu noonu fanaa war ngaa mun a indi cerner o evidence bu nga xam ne da nga gis fi ñoo jox police officer bi juróom fukki dërëm parce que loolu noonu su amee nag ñun luñ lay def mooy su fekkee sega nañ ko bu baax te ñu gis ne liñ la tuumal dafa nekk digga waaw luñ lay def mooy yow da nga dee ñibbi kër ko dañ la day daxa waaw gisuloo ñu ngi maa fàttali ne tamit comme li nga xam ne rek comme njëkkoon naa ko fii wax soo ko reportutee si ñun duñ mun a xam ne loolu xew na so reporting tam dafa important waaye comme pour bañ ma delluwaat si lu ma waxoon rek driver bi dugga nga si moto bi mu óor la ne mu óor driver bi ne pass bi $25 la war a nekk waaye mu laaj la ne man $50 lay charge yow yaakamti nga rek because timisa ngee ñoo jot si yaa ngi war a ñibbi kër xale yaa ngi si kër gi nga wàkkilu fay $50 boobu noonu te fekk yaa ngi gis police bu taw te óor na la ne soo ko waxee police bi dina stop loolu noonu waaye su ko stoppee dina la dilee yow doo mun a àgga kër on time xam nga loolu tamit noonu nekk na lu nga xam ne problème next question please.
Yes, Aisha.
Good morning.
Morning.
IDP, and thank you for allowing this encounter face-to-face with the media. And congratulations once again for your tremendous achievements so far in office. I have two questions. One is with regards to GNAC, the operations that the police did in GNAC. There is this myth that officers wearing the uniform do not enter GNAC. What prompted the sudden joint operations in GNAC? That is my first question. And the second question is, you've actually mentioned that you've deployed your men and women in banks across the country, which is laudable. But also, we've now seen, individuals now targeting bureaus, and we're seeing fatalities there. What mechanisms are put in place for your institution to actually, to come on board to have swift reactions or response in terms of this? Because at the end of the day, lives are being lost, and these are people that are there to, families and all. So I want to know what mechanisms are put in place.
Thank you very much. Thank you. First and foremost, the ultimate objective of every security institution in this country is to ensure there is peace, stability, and tranquility in the country. No part of this country is considered ungovernable, meaning essentially the laws of the land has to be applied in every jurisdiction across the length and breadth of this country. And GNAC is of that enforcement. The issue about the myth about the place, to say if you go there as a uniformed person, I am not in a position to answer that one. Perhaps the people of that area can answer that one. But for what I know to be factual is we were executing our responsibility, our rules, our duty as law enforcers. And lest we forget, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is the lead agency in tackling drug menace in this country. We were just there to give support. That would be my answer for that. On the issue of the Forex bureaus, when that unfortunate incident, tragic incident occurred at Bruceby area, we did not treat it as an isolated case, but it is a case that was a very big concern to us, because having deployment in all the financial institutions, more especially the banks, we don't have the human resources to deploy at all the forest bureaus in this country. I'm sure you will agree that there are so many, and the police don't have that staff strength to be able to effectively deploy in all those areas. The appeal that we are making to business entities, forest bureaus, is to ensure that let them also fortify their bureaus by way of protecting their cash, protecting the staff that are working there, and also ensuring that they have CCTV cameras that we can always review anytime an unfortunate incident happens. But also happy to report to you that the suspect in that murder of that Fatih girl is already apprehended and is being paraded before the courts. Thank you.
Yes, big one. Yes, it's you.
Yes, me.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eliman Sow. I work for Hilltop FM Radio. Thank you very much, IG, for giving us this opportunity to have a face-to-face meeting. Well, my question is with regards to the support that you render to officers who, unfortunately, get in trouble, like got injured while in the line of service. Like I have covered or have engaged a particular officer who was, injured while in the line of duty, and that is some 5 years ago. But still now, the officer hasn't received, the needed support from the police. He was supposed to undergo surgery, which was valued at 60,000. He never went through the surgery. Again, the police stopped his salary back in March 2025. Since March, he hasn't been receiving salary. And again, finally, he notified me that the police have informed him that he is no longer a serving member of the police, and they requested their uniform from him. So I'm asking, is that fair to him?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You see, as you start speaking, straight away I know the concerned officer. You mentioned it happened 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was not here, but office is continuity. Whatever happened 5 years ago concerning Gambia Police Force, since I am the one at the helm now, it's my concern, it's my problem. And we have dealt with this situation several times. It was equally discussed at senior management several times. The situation right now, how it is, one, we don't encourage our colleagues to be everywhere in the media talking about issues when you know there is a platform that you can come and engage us with. That was one issue about that person. Two, I mentioned here that a couple of years' time, I will proceed on my statutory retirement, isn't it? Now, even whereas, he got injured allegedly in line of duty, if the time comes, for him to go on retirement, because he got injured, are we supposed to spare him? No, we would not do that. A good number of fine officers were retired because they have reached the age limit of retirement. But I know also for sure his case is under serious review. We have paid money for police officers close to $300,000 for them to go for overseas treatment. I see no reason why we cannot support him with $60,000. Even at individual level, I know good people within this institution that can do this for him. But I will not delve too much into that matter because there is something, that hopefully, in the not too distant future, you will hear something regarding that person. That will be my answer to that.
If you are coming this the second round, that will be the end.
No, leave him, please, go ahead.
Before you come, there's another one there. I think it's coming for the first time. Yes, lady? I say again? Okay. Then that would have come.
Okay, thank you. First, IGP, I want to know what is the fate of the drafted police act that was enacted, that was validated almost more than a year ago. The second question, there is a speculation going around that officers, including senior officers within the roof of this institution, who are perceived to be critical of your administration, have been met with intimidation and even unfair transfer from the headquarters to other parts of the country. A classical example is the dismissal of one senior commissioner within this building who got a petition against your administration. I want to know, give us a synopsis of what happened. Why do you feel the individual should have been dismissed? Because the public believe that this wasn't a fair decision. Hence, you come into office, you campaign under the pretext of reforming this institution, ensuring accountability and justice for all.
I think that accountability is what we are doing here now, right now. That's what we are doing, isn't it? Huh? Before me coming here, are you seeing the IGP standing before the media convening a press conference? We have nothing to hide. I will not talk too much about that particular case because it's before the courts. The courts will be the ones to determine that. But I know I was petitioned under 3 months in office. Just under 3 months. That's my answer for that one, okay? The targeted transfer of senior officers from this headquarters. Well, let me inform you. Transfers of senior officers across the country is done by the senior management, not single-handedly by the Inspector General of Police. All these fine men and lone women you are seeing here takes part in that transfer when it is being conducted. And it is moderated by our Human Resource Department, which is headed by a Deputy Commissioner of Police. So it is a collective decision, not a decision single-handedly taken by the IGP. Well, if people are critical of my administration, as a Muslim and Christians, I'm sure, again, you must be a Fuller. You should know something about the Quran. Even Rasul, may peace be upon him, doesn't he have people who dislike him during his time? It is normal. So you don't expect me to be here and I think that everybody likes me. If I think that, I'm fooling myself. But what is important to me is, even if you don't appreciate me, please do your work. I have nothing to do with you if you continue doing a good job.
What about, I think that you missed the question. It's not about those who hate you. It's people who are critical of the administration.
But that's what I'm saying. Being critical is the same. If you are critical about me, come out with facts. We want to be corrected if we go wrong. And the critical nature of what you are saying, I have not seen any officer that will come openly or directly to me. And that is something that I like. When I go out on tour, I visit every single police station or post. And part of my activities is to engage only junior officers. No senior officer there. There is, Jalo is here, I went together with him on a tour. I engage them directly. And in fact, when I came back from the tour, some of the movements that I conducted was informed by that engagement that I had with the officers. So being critical is not a bad thing. But if you are being critical, please do it in good faith, not out of malice. He said, no, that's a question about the police bill. Very good, very good. The police bill, after the validation, there is a process. It goes to the Ministry of Interior. From the Ministry of Interior, they are responsible for taking it to the Ministry of Justice. And from what we learned, from what we know, it has moved from Ministry of Justice back to Ministry of Interior. And that's procedure. So from there, it will progress to another level, before finally being taken to the National Assembly.
Thank you, Dauda. Isa, that will be our last. Isa, okay, let me give you opportunity. You've not spoken at all.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Honorable IGP, thank you. What do you say to the, I have two questions. What do you say to the allegation that the office of the IGP have sidelined orders attached to magistrates and judges in their promotions? And another question is this. The destruction of cocaine that was done, the office of the IGP at the time, after the allegation was packed by the public, the office of the IGP promised to investigate. But up to now, there is no public statement concerning that investigation.
Okay, Mr. Bass, if I get you well, are you talking of the unburnt blocks of cocaine?
Burnt. The destruction of cocaine that was allegedly done but substituted.
But that's what I'm saying. We're talking of the same thing. They are the unburnt blocks. Huh? The one that was conducted at Cape Point, isn't it? Yes. We investigated that matter. It was a joint panel. We call it JIT, Joint Investigation Team, comprising of members of other security establishments. That report was ready compiled and sent to the AG chambers for legal advice and opinion. That's where the job of the police stops, or the members of the investigation team. That opinion that will come from there will inform the prosecution and or otherwise that's supposed to happen. The other one, that is in the course, right? Okay, so here, my colleagues are reminding me, it's already in the course. Okay? What's the next one that you mentioned? Okay. Well, this one, I will flatly disagree with you. Okay? I only hope you don't have a brother or sister who is an ugly. Is that the case? Well, I don't think so. See, you know what we do? 2 months, a month or two before promotion board is convened, we task our human resource office to check for us. And these are the parameters that we apply when we sat at the promotion board. You are going to check for us, let's say from the rank of corporal to sergeant, how many officers are sitting on that rank for, let's say, 4 years or 5 years. When that information is provided and it is projected, we normally do it in my office, and the members of the personnel management office are always invited to be part of it to guide us. If that vacancy is, let's say, 100, and we realize that we have 80 vacancies, that means we have a deficit of 20. This is prepared in chronological order by sequence, and it comes in line with their seniority. It's nothing difficult. You only check the first 80. That will be consumed by the availability of the slots. You give it out to those ones. There is General Adlin here, who is responsible for all the orderlies, not only to magistrates and judges, but to every other senior person in this country that is entitled to be protected, including cabinet ministers, including my own physical guards at my 2 residences. Let me inform you, I have 4 at my other residence, and I equally have 4 at the second house. The last promotion of Gambia Police Force, none of them were promoted. I think if I am to promote, I will start from my own. There's a saying in Wolof, Kurachata isa kanam, Kurachata isa kanam. So nyonyi funko amute, wol masoto dame, many ati nambe preferential treatment dealer dola. And where the baby the same category, the baby the same level. We want to discourage this. You, a police officer from Kachume, I think you are from Kachume. And a police officer from my hometown, Pira, are all police officers. The one from Nyakwe equally is the same. We want to treat everybody equally. Okay?
Thank you. Isa,
next
is the final.
Yes.
Isa is the final question. Yes.
Thank you very much. I have a question regarding of recent. We've seen a lot of unpleasant things coming from on TikTok. You know, Ghanaians insulting one another, exposing each other's nude pictures. As law enforcement agency, what are you doing in terms of what mechanisms are in place, you know, to stop such matters? I know you've already talked about discipline, you know, obeying the rule of law, but this is something which is beyond just, you know, standing, advising people to do away from it. Are there any mechanisms put in place for such acts to, you know, stop, because it is getting out of hand when we...
Okay. If it is reported, we take action. I will not mention names, but a couple of months ago, a semester was jailed for 6 months, and also with a fine of, or compensation, I can't remember the figure, 1 million. That was prosecuted by Gambia Police Force prosecutors. And that has to do with the same thing that you've just mentioned. And my two lawyers are telling me even yesterday, there's a third lawyer over there saying the same thing. So something is being done about it. The issue of hate speech, I think I have mentioned it in my speech, and I don't want to go back to that. So hate speech is also something that we are monitoring. Sometimes, even a figure, a political figure or a high-profile figure, may not even be aware that he or she is being insulted. If our Criminal Intelligence and Interpol Bureau, Special Investigation Unit, which is headed by a very erudite senior officer, if we flag it, and pick it up, we do our review of it. We tend to invite the person who pull out that audio. You are interrogated, and if there is possibility for us to parade you before the courts, we do this. This is all geared to sanitize the society, and we will not relent in those efforts, because today it is us that God has bestowed this responsibility of ensuring that peace and tranquility prevails in this country, and we will continue executing that assigned task. Thank you.
That was the last. That was the last.
Don't forget about the statistic about the plot of lands being allocated.
Yes.
Yeah, and the university too. We would like to know the amount of junior officers that benefited from that. Scholarship.
The scholarship, okay. So you can liaise with me on anything beyond this, right? You can liaise with me directly on whatever you
Any other question?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. General, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think it's over an hour, right? And I am sure the media houses are very happy to have the Honorable IGP to answer to your questions. I think for the first time, we've been having press conference for the first time that we're having this long interaction with the IGP directly. And this is healthy, This is what you've asked for, and we are giving it to you. So, and it continues from here. The Office of the Inspector General of Police, that is responsible for media relation, the doors are still open, and we'll continue to provide for you the information that you need at any point in time. And we are aware there are instances where people would just go around, be posting and sharing anything they pick up. But when it comes to national security matters, especially police-related matters, it's important that we clarify this. It's very important we clarify this, because to the person who is viewing, as long as it is there for them, most people, it has implications on people, it has national security implications. And there are instances where we actually have to write and tell media houses that you should have contacted us before you share this, because we are here available. And we want to encourage this. And I think since we did that, most of the time we've not been seeing that happening, and that's what we encourage. At this point, Inspector General of Police, with your permission, this brings us to the end of this edition of press conference, and hopefully we hope to see you here next when you are invited to another press conference. We would want to close with prayers. Bismillah.
Stand up. Thank you. Thank you, Ola.